A 227-year-old historic estate in Louisville is about to offer a rare inside look at the bourbon industry. It's from the place where much of the bourbon laws were created.
Yeah, hard to believe, huh? We drive by it quite often. WDRB's Joel Skipper takes us inside Oxmoor Farm. It's out near Oxmoor Center, and the new tour about to hit the Commonwealth.
So even though you're inside Louisville, which is a big, wonderful metropolitan environment, this feels like both a step back in time and a step back into nature.
The 400-acre Oxmoor Farm is used to tours and special events, but soon a tour will be offered that brings it back to its roots, bourbon.
You look at that four-word phrase on every bottle of bourbon, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. You go to a distillery, they're going to explain to you how they make Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. You come to Oxmoor Farm, we're going to tell you the story of why we have those four words.
The farm is about to release its new Oxmoor Bourbon Company brand, the third installment from a private stock from the Bullitt family that dates back to the 1920s and even earlier. It will also include a tasting tour on the property.
What we want people to do is to come here and understand, having walked through the house, having heard about the history, this is why we make bourbon.
But behind this door, you can actually see the original front of the 1791 portion of the house.
That part of the home was commissioned by Evan Williams himself, who paid for the bricks and labor. But what few people know is how the property came to shape the bourbon industry into what it is today, and the legalities behind it.
And this right here is the library, the main area of the estate. This is where the tastings are going to happen. Behind me, they're going to happen at that bar. 10,000 books in this room, one of the largest private libraries in the country.
And it was the lawyers here in the family working in that room eventually who were the ones who helped create the laws around bourbon. It's just an extraordinary experience.
The tours start in June and will focus on the culture that has shaped the bourbon industry. Guests will then be able to sip and stroll the grounds. Bottles will only be able to be purchased after a tour here on property and are $55.
We're here to give someone the experience of learning about bourbon as a culture rather than bourbon as a product.
In Louisville, with photojournalist Neil Johnson, Joel Skipper, WDRB News.